Hey guys, and welcome. Today we're going to do some clusters, and I'm going to do the collage process. So I've seen Rachel from Roxy Creations do this a while ago actually, and it's a really quick way to do a bit of a mass make. Just in readiness, I've already put the first layer down. So I've got a sheet of coffee dye paper here, and then we just get some book page, and I'll just quickly show you, and we just tear it into a size that we want, and we basically just stick it down. Then I'll get some decorative paper, which is what we're going to do now, and I add another 2 pieces to each section here. So let's do that. There's no rhyme or reason with it. I actually like to work in threes, which is why I put 3 pieces down on the clusters before we embellish them, but totally up to you. And I'm using a Yoo-hoo glue stick. I find out of all the glue sticks, that's the one I do prefer to use. This is a new one I'm working with today. It's nice and creamy. And then we just lay it down on each one. I'm working with fairly neutral tones today, and then we'll add some colour when we put our embellishments on there. So these are a great thing to have in your stash, ready to go. So if you're working through and decorating a journal, it's just quickly grab one of these, put it on a tag, a pocket, a tuck, a belly band, and it just instantly embellishes it. Got a beautiful summery day out there today. We've had a few over the last couple of weeks, a few storms, so it's nice to just get a really clear spring day today. Sometimes too, if I pick up a piece of paper like this, like I'll just tear a few pieces off and work with a couple of areas at a time. It just helps, you know, you don't have to think too much. And there's no real, don't need to be too particular, because we're going to be putting stuff over the top of that. So we don't need to make pretty patterns or make sure things are straight. We're just going to throw it on there. Just have some variety with your papers as well. This is a beautiful paper, this one. Might do a couple with that. This process is so relaxing. You can just sit down one afternoon and just do a mass make, have a couple of pages. I've got another page done, ready to go for when we embellish, because I had a heap of these made the other day, and I went through and finished off my botanical journal, and there is a flip through if you guys want to check it out, and you'd be surprised how many of these clusters that I did use in that journal. As you can see, guys, I'm really not thinking too much about it. I'm just laying it down. And if there's any little edges sticking up, you can simply go through and glue them later. You can do, I'm working on smaller ones than I did the other day here. But you can do like long strip ones for belly bands, ones that go across the bottom for tucks. You'll get a bit of a feel when you're creating it for yourself on what you actually do and don't need. Like I said, I did bigger ones, which I'll show you one here. So I did bigger ones. That one can go on a belly band, or it can go on like a page tuck. It's just handy to have a good variety of different sizes, because you really don't know what you're going to need until you actually go to use it or put them in your journal. And sometimes our journal's not made before we make these as well. So we don't know colour tones or anything like that. So neutrals, always a safe bet. So I've got 2 now on each. So I'm going to put a third one on the top. And then we'll get on to the fun part, which is the decorating them. Collage is so much fun, and you can really apply it to a lot of different things. It's quite addictive, really. Once you start ripping and gluing paper, you can use it in your art journals. I'm doing one at the moment, and I went through and prepared a few pages just with some collaged background papers, like book pages and things like that. And then I gessoed over the top of it, all ready to go to create some art. Actually, that one's upside down, I think. It's hard to tell on that one. So it was a lot of fun. Good way to use up your scraps too, guys. It's you'd be surprised how much you accumulate over a period of time. I guess a lot of you would already know that, but they're very handy to hang on to. This is definitely worth having a go. And if you don't have book pages or neutral tones, just use it. Do it with your pattern papers. You'll get some great effects with that as well. So I'm just looking for the ones that have got to have that third piece on it. And then I'll show you how to tear them up, and then we'll get on to decorating them with our embellishments or ephemera. This one. beautiful. Now you can, of course, while they're like this, add your embellishments on. I actually don't like to do that because you get more of a feel once you've torn them as to their size, the orientation of it, but entirely up to you. But have a go either way. Now to tear them or get them apart, I just use my finger to guide. So we're not looking for straight lines, we're just looking to tear around each little collage that we've done, because your coffee dyed paper is also a layer. So we're not looking for perfect or straight edges, and that's why I tear these ones. The coffee dye paper, it's quite easy to tear because it's a little bit more brittle than normal paper. Well, mine is anyway. I do mine in the oven. So it actually makes it thicker. It's beautiful. There's so much you can do with these. You know, for your third piece, you can put sari silk or lace. I mean, you can still do it now with these the way they are. Just add a little bit extra on top of there, which we'll do a couple of them as well. And it all comes down to what style of journal you're doing too, as to the colours or whether you're adding material to it. It's just a really quick process to do it this way. Rather than laying down a couple of pieces of paper, I think you procrastinate more when you're just working on one piece, but when you're working on several like this, you just throw it down. You can put stickers on these too when you go to decorate them. You could add some stamping to them. I'll just quickly do up my other one that I've got done, and then we'll get in and decorate them. Like I said, I went down to only a couple from a mass make I did a week or so ago, and you'd be surprised how many, when you have them on hand, how many you do use even just in one journal. Use your finger as a guide, just so you're not tearing into the other one, and it gets its own border of the coffee dye as well. Would love to know if you have tried this method before, and if you find it way easier than just doing single clusters. There is another way to do a mass make too, which I we'll look to do a video over the next couple of weeks. My sewing machine's packed away in a shipping container because we just recently moved, so I don't have access to that, but I could probably look to do it with paper clips just to show you. Okay, so just in that really short period of time, we have all these clusters to work with. So let's get in now to the fun part of the video and do some decorating. So I use all things with my clusters. I use stamped images, I use die cuts, stickers, embellishments that I've made. So I've got a few things that I've pulled out in readiness just to, let me just put a top on my art glitter glue, just in readiness, just to make it quicker because you don't want to wait while I rummage through all my things. So I'll pull out a couple of leaf die cuts. I had a big session die cutting the other day, and I just really love these leaves. One of each colour, I think. And then I've got a container of goodies. Got some stamps, some sayings. We've got flowers, frames. Actually, that's really cute. I might do one like that. Okay, so, you know, and just because the writing goes one way, you don't necessarily have to have it that way. You can go that way, entirely up to you. We might start with this one here. We've got a little photo here printed out. I might just stick it down, and then I come across in my embellishment stash this morning a little frame, so I'm going to sort of offset that as well. And if you wanted to do this and you didn't have one of these frames, if you've got a square punch, 2 sizes, you could do it. If you've got, you could even do it with a round one. I'm just going to offset it like that. And that one's done. The leaf. Yeah, might do it that one. So play around with it, but don't be overly, you know, when doing it, just throw them on there. Because when you add your words or your sayings, or you might want to add, you know, some labels, etc. That one's done. To it, then you can. Got some flowers. Now go back to the original. So a little bit of lace. That's actually a little bit of curtain, that one, that I got on a sale table. And yeah, just cut it up. I really like the net effect on it. I saved, this is actually a Tim Holtz punch, and I saved what I'd punched out. I think they call this the negative space. You can see it's just on Kaiser Craft thing, but just to put it down as an embellishment as well. And feature that dark piece under there. So it's good to keep your scraps. I mean, you just never know. You don't have to keep all your scraps, just keep a little bit of everything. It's another one done. What have we got? Some farmyard. So we've got a rooster here. Actually like how it picks up the blue in that one. So these are a digital kit in my Etsy shop, and they're really fun. The edges on the circles are already inked like that, so that's how they print out. And some of them, if you've got different size circle punches, you can punch them out. Otherwise, I hand cut a lot of mine. I actually like sitting in front of the TV and just doing some fussy cutting. I did put a sealer over that one, which is why it's curled a little bit. I was just trialing some, I think Mod Podge I used on that one, how the paper would soak it in, but that's another one done. These one, which I've got a video on, is I use the glossy accents on these. You can see it gives it like a little, that there's glass over the top, so they're really, really cute. We might throw that on one as well. You can see it just changes it. Actually, we've got a bee one. We might do the bee. So you can go through and put labels or sayings, words, everything, and add it to that as well, which we will do a couple, and it just lifts it again. Up to you whether you want to put that on all of them or whether you want to just keep these in your stash like that, because, you know, we don't always know what we want that page to say. This is just a saying that I've got stamped out on paper. So I'm just tearing a little bit closer. I'm not inking any of the edges today, guys, but you can definitely do that as well. Or you can throw a little bit of ink on them once they're done. What have we got? We've got some paper dolls. Oh, we've got two. Let's use one of them. I like her on there. I pulled her over. She's fairly light, so I wanted to feature that dark piece that we have going down the side there. So we've got bug faux stamp, so that's just stamping on coffee dyed paper. Then it's put on craft cardstock, and to get the edge I used sewing, they're called pinking shears, and they just cut it square like that. Otherwise you can have just the straight edges and you'll get a similar effect on that. But they're really fun. I do have a video on that, guys. If you want to check that out, I will put the link below. I think the video shows you 8 different ways to do it, so it's about working with what you've got. And sometimes just a simple butterfly. I'm going to push it off to the left hand side because I know that we'll put a saying definitely on that one. So we're going to have our saying across the bottom there. So we might do the other paper doll, but we might use that beautiful leaf as well. Yep, beautiful. So it pays you to have a little bit of variety in your stash. Die cut stickers, embellishments that you've made. The paper dolls are really handy to have, and I love that you can get all various sizes in them, because I actually like working with these little ones a lot. Actually like that. And I've got a sticker. They're really hard to get apart, some of these. Just to show you, oh, that one's torn half off, but just to show you that stickers look really good too. Don't know whether, oh, there he is. I was a bit heavy-handed on that one by the looks, or it had a could have had a cut in it, but stickers look great on them as well. Let's go with another butterfly. Put him there. Actually, I'll go with the moth. These moths, I think I cut out of, I think they were a 12 by 12 Kaiser Craft paper that had a lot of moths on it, and I've just cut them all out. So have a look through your paper stash too. Sometimes there's embellishments there that we can cut off and keep. Don't necessarily have to always use them as a paper. Might get a bit of sari silk for the next one. And I've got some little buttons here, so we might do one with buttons on it. I'm having the sari silk go up and down because we know that we'll probably put a word across the bottom or a tag of some sort, a label. Don't always have to have wording on them. I do have material glue, but I'm just using the art glitter today. And of course you can sew these on. I'm just going to glue them today. Actually, I might just stay with the two. You could always put something in the middle, like a little rhinestone if you wanted to bling it up. A drop of something if you've got any of those 3D drops. Actually, I might use the third one out off the sari silk. It was getting lost on the sari silk, similar colour. Just to cluster it. So that's your buttons. Obviously you can put more lace and things on it, but we're just doing, today's more about just showing you all the different things you can put on it and how quick the process is, basically. If we wanted to add a little bit of greenery, I've got a little fern here. I punched a heap out. This one's a Tim Holtz punch. And it's just a really good size leaf for your little intricate clusters. The one. Right, what haven't we done? So this is a sticker on a bit of coffee dyed paper, so we can pick one of these more patternedy ones and put that on there as well. If you didn't have a sticker, then you could stamp one of your little images, one of your favourite images. Similar to that. So I've got that one stamped out, so we could ink the edge on that one. Might tear it. This is just walnut stain that I'm doing that with. Let's put it on let's make it a bit smaller. Let's get on that one. And just look how effective that is as well. You could stamp a word across the bottom or just put a word across the bottom. Here's another one of these faux stamps. So I want to do a bug type botanical journal. Mix it in a little bit. I've got these bigger leaves punched out as well. I actually like the blue. I am looking to do a denim journal. So having just hints of blue through it. As a highlight, I thought. So a denim cover and then just some small hints of blue throughout the journal. I love working with die cuts. I did a heap of, cut out a heap of ferns and that the other day. This one here, this is just a stamp. I think it's off Field Notes, Tim Holtz stamp. And I've stamped it in green archival ink, put it on a bit of coffee dyed paper, cut it out. This background one was some paper that I had, and I've just done the edges with the pinking shears. So you get a faux stamp. That's on that video that I'll link below as well. It's just another way that you can do it using up your scraps. And I like little pops of green through a journal, or little pops of colour, which is what these clusters give you. So to show you, I think I've got a tag here, yeah. So when you've got your clusters, you just grab one, throw it on a tag, you're done. Let's pull out another one. Throw it on a tag, you're done. There, or a pocket or a tuck. Throw it on, you're done. See how quick and easy it is, simple it is, and how effective it looks. If we've got, this is a collage tag I haven't finished yet, but throw it on, it's done. I know the background's a bit hard for you to see, but there we go. Throw it on and you're done. I think I've got a white tag. It might be a better way to view it. So you got a white tag, throw it on, you're done. Put your sentiment down the bottom. If you've got a pocket on there, a pocket across your tag, throw that on there. Throw that on there. If it's a tuck, see how easy it is. You can tear the backgrounds down a little bit, but they're just a great thing to have in your stash. What else do we have? Let's put this picture on. Looks good. And of course, you know, you can put labels on there as well. I've got a heap of labels, and that we'll have a bit of a play, put some words on a couple, just so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to put this on. This is beautiful too. Like I said, I've done a video on this using the glossy accents, but how to get it without it curling up. And it's a similar way like this to do it a mass make, and you cut them after they've dried. I'll link that down below as well, guys. If I forget to link anything, you just go to my YouTube channel, Sharon Dixon, and you'll be able to see the videos in there. It's a long one. So that one can either go up and down like that. It can go across the bottom like that. I'm thinking you might go across the bottom, but we might do it that way because we can put a saying across the bottom. And I just want to find a really pretty butterfly. Oh, might go with a dragonfly. Just add a bit more texture on there as well. A little bit of material. I'm not really sure what type of material that is. It's not seam binding. I just love the glossy little ephemera pieces. I've done a whole heap of labels and that as well in the same same way. They just turned out absolutely beautiful. So check out my video, guys, and I'll show you how easy it is. I got the black and white. A black and white butterfly. Okay, all right, so let's put some labels on a couple of them just so you can see a couple of them finished off, and then we'll do a recap through the ones that we have done. Put that off to the side. I've got some labels and sayings already done, so we'll just grab a few of those. So a lot of these are from the Tiny Text, the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp set, and I have stamped a heap out on a page, and you'd be surprised how much I use them. So I'm just going to pull a few little sayings out. Just for the purpose of today. I'm looking for some smallish ones because we've done smaller clusters today. One day I'll get around to making an ephemera holder that might help this process of digging through. But sometimes I like it digging through because you forget what's in there. And sometimes it can jump out at you when you've got a cluster in front of you, so you don't always know. But let's do a couple, and we can use these ones as well. Use them up. So if we go to, let's go with this one because we can afford to have a longer one on the dragonfly one, and I might just cut it down a bit. I haven't inked this one too heavily because it's going on a darkish background, so we want to feature the words. And then you're just putting sentiments on. Some, I'm not doing all of them though. I'm just this one I'm going to grunge it up a little bit. It's a bit white for me. Just want to blend it into the background, as you can see, like that. Otherwise, no matter what we put on there, it wouldn't have looked any good. I like that. It'll go across and outside the cluster, but that's fine because we're putting it on bigger things with these clusters, so we don't have to stay within the coffee dyed background piece. As you can see, because we're going to throw that on something bigger, so if it was a pocket a belly band. We can always, if we're putting it on this size tag, just snip the ends off, because there's a, actually I'll do that now, there's a fair bit of play on either end. And you'll have a lot of your own sayings. Some people type them out. Once again, I'm looking for the smaller ones. I'll put a bit of sari under that one. Like I said, this is the fun part, guys. It's you know, putting something down and then creating with it by decorating it. And this is something, I'm doing it quite quickly, but this is something you can take your time with, and you don't have to do them all. Leave them blank in your stash until you go to use them. I'm not going to put sayings on a lot of the others. This one here, I just think it needs something other than a saying, so we might look for something small. For something very, oh, there we go. Something mini. So if you didn't have one of these, obviously you could put a small label up there. You could put an eyelet in there. I'm just going to put that up the top there like that. The flower here needs something. What can we add in the middle of that? We've got a small butterfly or a flower. I mean, you could do a button as well. We got a small dragonfly. And that's with the glossy accents on that as well. It just adds another layer to it. Just makes it more fun. All right, so let's do a recap. I mean, I could sit here all day with you guys and decorate and chat, but I'm always mindful that not to make the videos too long for you. And but this was today to show you the process. Encourage you to have a go as well. It's just so much fun just sitting down, ripping and gluing paper. It sounds boring, I know, but once you do it, you will absolutely love it. So we're going to do a recap on what we've done today. I'll just put those to the side because I may do a couple more off camera. I'm just going to step through each one just so you can see. We'll leave the ones that we've put sayings and that on to the end. All right, so if you have turn that on, all that out of 2 A4 sheets of coffee dyed paper. So it's just absolutely fantastic. So we've got the rooster. We used a sticker on that one. It's another little embellishment. So we've got the glossy accents on that one just to make it shiny. Got your faux stamps, butterfly, and like I said, throw that on a tag and you're done. It's just so simple. We used some buttons, a stamped image on some coffee dyed paper, faux stamps again, but that's a stamped image on top of some craft cardstock. We've got a sticker on the back of coffee dyed paper. We've got a flower with some die cut leaves. We've got a die cut leaf in a different colour. I like to work in a lot of different colours with that. Got a little photo with a little frame around it as a point of interest. Then we've got our beautiful flower with our dragonfly on it that's got the glossy accents on it. We've got our negative punched out image from our Tim Holtz leaf, and then we've put a little mini faux stamp on there. We've got a blue fern, which is a die cut. Actually, no, I think that one's a punch. Yeah, definitely a punch. And then we've put a little saying on it. We've got a glossy accented butterfly. We haven't put anything on that yet. And then again, we've got the glossy accents. You can see it's just so much better. Let's see if I can find a plain butterfly. So this is a butterfly without, I mean, it still looks good, but that just makes it look even better. There's a little bit more effort, but check out my video, guys. You'll see how to mass do it, and you'll be doing it with all your labels and your tickets. And so we use the paper dolls. I use the smaller ones, throwing them on there. And then I've used a die cut with a paper doll. Just puts another point of interest on there for these ones, because these ones are quite light, so you could put them on a darker background, entirely up to you. And then we've got a stamped saying. So we've just stamped something on a bit of paper, and then we've added that on there. So that really doesn't need anything else, unless you were going to put, say, a bit of lace behind this side around the edge. You could do some patterned paper. So much you can do with that. It can just go on a tag simply like that, with nothing else on it. Then we've got the moth with the saying. So that one we grunged up because the paper that we used was a little bit white, and when we put the sentiment down, it was taking it away from that. That's just a little photo that we've added on there, so it doesn't need a frame or anything like that. That one there's the faux stamps. Check out that video, guys. That's just a stamped image on a bit of coffee dye paper, put on some patterned paper, and then cut out with the sewing pinking shears. That one again, we've used a 3D word there. That one's a digital kit. I'll put a link down the bottom. They're all in circles. They're absolutely fantastic to work with. That one's dragonfly with a sentiment. We've used a little bit of material. You can use lace. And that one there is just a little bug. But so much there. And there was a few that we didn't embellish, that I'll get to later, but so much out of so little time and not much effort at all that you will have in your stash ready to go to just work through a journal. So it'll be turn the page in the journal, or which one do I want, stick it in, turn the page, and keep working through it like that. Easy as, guys. I hope you've got a lot out of today, just on how to put it all together, or some different ideas. You know, use your punched items, your die cuts, your stickers, get your flowers out, things like that that you probably haven't worked with for a while. But thanks for spending the time with me. Please subscribe to my channel, that will help me, and hit like for the video if you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks guys, bye.